Do you know, this is why I turned my mic on first, and your mic is not on at the moment.
Wells, you're a wise man.
Yes. Sorry. Welcome, everyone. I always delay putting the party's mics on because they're always, when I say we're going live, one of them is bound to say something rude or inappropriate. So that's what they were laughing at. It wasn't Mr. Pickles. I don't think Mr. Pickles could
be me. It could have been me.
No, you could never be rude or... You're far too innocent. You don't have a cat today. I'm a little bit
There's a cat in a fort over there and a cat in a window.
A cat?
And Sage will eventually find me.
A cat in a fort?
Yeah. Well, I have a triangle pillow and I put a blanket over it.
Oh,
so
yes.
Yeah. He gets really frantic if I don't do it. And so it's just easier to set it up and eventually he trudges in here.
It's actually building a base in this cat. It's going to take over the world.
Yeah, it's a secret den of some description.
You think you're building me a home? I'm building a castle.
Not that the cats have got you wrapped around their little finger at all, Mr. Pickles. It's who actually rules your roost?
Of the cats?
Or just generally you?
I mean, I'd like to think me, but it's the cats. They have a war going on that takes up a lot of my time.
It's 100% his wife.
Say again.
Cats, yes.
It's 100% his wife. I don't know why he would even suggest to say that else. His wife is the boss.
She doesn't watch this back, does she?
No.
Oh, lucky then.
She watched it live and oh my God, here she comes.
Yeah, that would be so funny if she came through through there, whack across. Anyway, hello everyone. Hello, welcome. Do you know, it seems really strange that I'm playing M-Space because I felt like I have to say, so last night I played D&D 5th edition and I was saying to the party that so it's on Discord and there's no cameras at all, but I'm sat here looking at my camera going, yes, and sort of like doing all the facial interactions. And then I suddenly thought, they can't even see me, so what, but I'm so used to performing. So so welcome back everyone. We left the adventure in a really interesting position last week, and you'll notice that some of the tokens have a little bit of a whirly sign next to them because willpower rolls were required, and I think only you, Minsk, made yours. I think that was the only.
Yes, and I wish I hadn't.
Yeah. Yeah, and so there's something really interesting about to happen. Well, we'll see what happens, but before I give you a quick synopsis of what's gone on before, I'm going to allow the players an opportunity to say who they are and who they will be playing tonight. And as always, we go to you, Mr. Pickles.
I'm Mr. Pickles, and I play Zach Numen. He is the physical character of this group. He's a bit gruff. He's not great at talking, but he's very good at things that require physical strength and coordination. He has a lot of the physical skills, some that you might not expect, since he's not the most dexterous, but he is somewhat dexterous. So he can conceal things like a grenade launcher into a car to prevent somebody from blowing us up. He's also really good at using a fair number of weapons. His favorite is the shotgun. He's got his bloody snail shotgun, because if he hits you with it, you're going to be crawling away, if at all. But just as a side note, the scene we're in is pretty well soaked in blood. You can't see it on the map because nobody's drawn it on, but
it is, yeah. No, I just know that Medivac's going towards that paintbrush at the moment.
It was actually me in this case. I'm just going to do it red everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, carry on. Sorry, Mr. Pickles.
Newman can also use a revolver, which is usually what he'll do when he needs a little bit more distance or range with his weapon. And stun baton is his third choice if it gets into situations where he can't just blow people away. that's usually his first choice, but he also has a lot of knowledge of the streets and crime. He comes from an urban world, so he did a lot of law enforcement there before he's gone on to this group. He's trying to deliver justice where justice is not. And with that, I'm going to throw it to our captain, who is still somewhat conscious, to take it away and save the day.
Well, thank you, sir.
Yeah, say something now.
I know. Unlike the other two, I'm James Minsk. I'm Medivac, and I play James Minsk, and I am not a fighter. I'm more of a lover.
Liver.
I tend to talk myself out of situations that usually end up in fisticuffs or shots fired. I do tend to favour my wit and my charm more than anything else. If that fails, I do have a blaster on my wrist, which shoots out into my hand. I'm not the best shot with it, but if at close range, I can do some nasty damage. I didn't think I was good at fighting, but from a couple of episodes ago, I do think I am now.
You are much better. Especially just one particular move.
Well, the short and curly. I'm very good at piloting a land speeder. I am also very good at piloting a starship. The two seem quite far apart, but technically they're both together because they don't have wheels on the ground.
Correct.
And that's how I work. Deceit, I don't like using my deceit, but I can be deceitful in a way of being, it's a case of hiding the truth if I don't want somebody to know something. I do have a contact called Jodie Jacks who helped us when we first came here. And she does feed us knowledge every now and again when I ask, or if she's able to. Streetwise, I know the streets. I'm a spaceship captain. I know bureaucracy. I know commerce, comms. My knowledge of the criminal underground for those little trade deals that are not too above board. So these things do help. That's pretty much it. And with that, I shall pass on to Captain Kangaroo.
All right. I'm Captain Kangaroo. I'm tonight playing a little guy named Arthur Hammond. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something.
I can't understand a word you're saying now.
Why are you from Texas now? Are you Matthew McConaughey?
I don't know. You tell me. Anyways, so this is what I'm talking about. My guy here, he's a little old fellow, but nonetheless, he's got strong, he's a little buff, behind the edges. Honestly, he looks good in the gray hair. Who knows? But he's kind of a jack of all trades, a guy you go to get things done. And honestly, why not, right? He's older, whatever. He's kind of okay with things like electronics, computers, and whatnot. But nonetheless, everybody should know that he is the guy you go to get things done. But besides that, we'll find out if he's even able to manage to survive this long screaming event that it was put us, through. But
you
from
love
there,
it.
I want to pass it to the guy, the man himself, the GM for us all, Mr. N. Wales.
Thank you very much. I was looking for, just before we started, somebody posted a video in the Discord of that long black-haired girl.
From the ring.
Yeah, and I'm sure I thought I had a token of it.
You do. We've had it before, and it was in a Mithras game.
Yeah, but I can't find it. See, all my tokens go across. If I've uploaded it, I've got access to them all, but I can't find it at all. But I thought I did have it in a Mithras game. So anyway, I'll put a band sheet on. Max is in the chat as well, so he's that southern-ish accent made me choke.
Did Max say that?
Yeah.
I sure
I don't know
hope
what that
Max
means.
doesn't just come in here and bully Captain Kangaroo.
Oh no, he says he's spectating, so I think he's just sussing everybody out in preparation. The party is
Sounds good.
The party is also accompanied by Purdy, who's a medical robot, 2 feet, toddles around, doesn't like to charge herself via public outlets, but is generally the medic, the first aid option for the party if they need it. So, to give you a quick summary, the story goes like this. There were 3 jobs available for the party. The first one was from Box, who owns the Dry Gypsy, a local tavern haunt of both the party and the rest of Arid. There was a group of people called the June Riggers who were causing some aggro for Box, and he hired the party to deal with them. At that point, they attached a scanner to the bikes that they were riding, and they managed to follow them to this area, which is a set of old disused mines. Arid is a place where ore was taken out of ages ago, but since then the main seams have run dry and there's not a lot of ore to be got. They also got contacted by a business person who owns Debec ore called Claude Debec, and he hired the party to deal with certain unfortunate occupants of one of the mine shafts. This place that they're at the moment, they knew from before because they lifted up a sign that said to Debec ore. At the same time, they were approached by the 4 seekers from the Sons of the Blackstar. And these were an apocalypse group of people who thinks that the world is going to end when a certain star will turn into a black star, which is even more powerful than a supernova, and destroy the whole galaxy. There is, however, one person that they are seeking, a young girl that they called the Ward, that they hired the party to locate for them. The party came out to the mines. They went around very sneaky beforehand, and then I think, quite honestly, I think Numen just got a little bit bored of sneaky, and then that was it. Legs got shattered, people got killed, and things were not very good at all. And at the end of the last, we had a bit of an interrogation session that I'm going to go back and have a look at, but then they came across a metal door that was sealed from the outside by a latch with a padlock attached to it. They removed the padlock, opened the door, and a young girl was there who immediately let out a horrifying scream. This stunned the majority of the party, save for Mr. Minks, who is still alive, still conscious. Hammond and Numen, you're actually out of it for 2 rounds, I think.
My notes say.
Yeah, 2 rounds. So you've got about a few seconds until you start coming round. Obviously, in combat, that's going to take a lot longer it's going to be a bigger period of time, and we're going to keep with that at the moment. And just to let you know, this scream also fried some of Purdy's circuits as well, and she's currently you think from the sounds that she's making, Minsk, that she's rebooting during that stage. So I'm just going to go to the screen. Let's play this out, and then let's go back to interrogation. So let's move straight into it. So Hammond, Numen, and Purdy's rebooting. Hammond and Numen are sort of like a bit unsure of things. You can see Minsk that they're disorientated. They're not sure what's happening or where. And there seems to be this young girl. Her wrists seem to be tied in front of her. And you think she was holding them together like that to bang on the door, and that's what you heard beforehand. Yep. The other thing that you notice is that she seems to have what appears to be a bit of cloth round her neck. And
this was a gag they were talking about, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it looks like she's managed to manipulate it in such a way that it's fallen away from her mouth. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm just going to put her onto the turn order here. I know what her is as well. You go first, just so you know, Minsk. You're first, then she is. So yeah, so we're coming back to, just going to swap it round, and we're going to talk in rounds now. So yeah, so you're up first, Minsk. What is it that you would like to do at this point?
I'm going to put my hands up and in a very calm and reassuring voice, I'm going to look at her in the eyes and I'm going to say, we're here to help you. Please stop what you're doing. We're here to free you and take you to the people that have been trying to find you to help you.
Yeah, nice. There's something, roll your insight, Minsk. Yeah, nice roll. You think she's probably in a state of panic. Yeah. Her eyes look quite wild, and you notice that she's quite dirty. She looks like she's been on the floor for a huge amount of time, and there's definitely some wildness in her eyes. Roll your influence, but this is going to be a formidable roll.
Oh.
Do you wish to look it?
Do you know what? I'm really putting, because I'm on my own here, I've seen that everybody's else. I'm going to really force the reassurance through what I say to her.
Well, fingers crossed then.
Fingers crossed. Oh, forced it well. I may have done a little wee.
And is she...
Don't force too hard. Just let it go out.
Let it go.
Yeah, so beforehand, it really did look like she was almost like sucking in breath. And it looked like she was about to scream again. But she seems to be almost like struggling, trying to struggle to her feet. Which she's finding difficult at the moment because her hands and her ankles are tied. So she sort of like looks at you. You sort of like see that she was about to go, and then she sort of your gentle manner, etc. She sort of like calmed down, and she seems to be preoccupied trying to get the ropes off. Yeah.
My next thing will be, let me help you. Let me take the bindings from your hands and your feet, and we'll get you cleaned up, and you know, things are going to be all right now.
Yeah. Yeah, so she's actually at the top of the stairs, so you can walk up the stairs. The door's open now, so you can get closer to her to help her.
I don't want to pull a knife or anything to try and cut them. I want to try and do it with my fingers.
Yeah,
just try to undo it so it's not alarming her in any way. And I will. I'll do her hands first, and then I'll do her feet. And all the time, I'm going to be talking to her, reassuring, saying things are going to be fine now.
Nice.
You're safe. You're with us. We're here to help. And I'll keep. It should be like a mantra. I'll be repeating it because I don't want my head fried.
Yeah.
At the same time.
So you sort of like start to come up the stairs, and you sort of like say you've not got any weapons out or anything like that, and you almost like get close to her, and at that point she turns and she puts both her hands up like this. Can you please make either an evade roll or an acrobatics roll? It is opposed, and her like roll, okay, is 62 at this point.
But she has to get higher than what I roll.
Well, no, you have to get higher. Yes.
Oh, I can't even reverse it.
No.
I'll take it because I'm fully confident in myself.
Yeah,
and I think things are going fine, so I'm just going to walk up there.
Yeah, and she sort of like comes out and she does this with her hands, and all of a sudden you feel this horrendous force whack into your chest at full power. It actually lifts you literally off your feet. It's as if it sort of like pushed you in the chest, and you sort of like fly back, but your legs and arms take a little bit of time to catch up with you, and you fly literally back and skid along the floor. Okay, then you will take a bit of damage. This will be absorbed by armor if you have any armor in these locations. Okay. You might be fine.
Oh.
Right, okay then. So she has the potential to give damage, but maybe it was the kindness of your words or something else that she might have held back slightly on her push, and you sort of like slide along the floor, and luckily taking no damage. Just to let you know, whatever came up there would have been on all your locations at the same time, so not just in one location as you buffeted back. And she seems to she sort of like looks round at you, and she's almost got that feral look, and you start to, well, what would you like to do, Minsk, now?
I'm going to sort of force myself back up again, and again I'm going to keep my hands low, and I want to have that non-aggressive, placid face as you don't need to do this. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to untie your bindings. Sorry.
Yeah.
We need to get you out of here before any of these other people come back. We need to. We're going to take you to people who will care for you.
Yeah.
And not lock you away.
And you notice that you get a feeling from your previous insight roll as well that this was probably a reaction, what she did, rather than meaning to do, rather than a malicious action. Something that she probably thought, just saw you coming out the corner of her eyes and thought, good grief.
Child. Yeah.
Yeah, and you notice that she, this time, she watches you. She fixes her eyes on you. As you approach.
What I'll do is I'm going to take a different tact with this.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit on the step that I'm on, and I'm going to just turn to her, so turn my waist and say, if you want me to untie your hands and your feet, come to me. I'm not going to hurt you.
Nice.
I'm going to undo your wrists and your feet, and then we can walk out here together.
Yeah, and she sort of like meets your gaze, and she slowly seems to, with her legs are tied, she sort of like takes her down one step at a time on her bottom, if that makes sense. And then when she gets close to you,
I'm gonna roll her down the stairs.
yeah. You notice that she sort of like keeps her eyes fixed on your gaze, looks exactly at you, and without sort of like breaking that gaze, she sort of like stretches out her hands that are tied. Yeah.
Before I do anything, I'm gonna. We're looking each other in the eye. I'm gonna say, "Can I undo your wrists?" And I'm going to wait for a response from her to see she's got her faculties under control again before I take my eyes away and work on the wrists.
She actually says absolutely nothing. No words escape her lips at all. But what she does do is look at you directly in the eyes, then looks down at her wrists and looks back at you, and then back down at her wrists as she sort of like holds them out. You haven't heard her utter any words as of yet.
She's probably suggesting that she really wants her wrists to be covered, and so you should probably just leave her alone. Probably wait seasons anyway.
So I will. Seeing this, I will then put my head down, and I'm going to work on the bindings.
Nice. So as you slowly undo her bindings of her legs as well, Hammond and Numen, you come out of your stunned state. And yeah, Minsk, what would you like to do as you see that they're coming out of there?
I'm going to carefully turn my head to them and calmly say, "Put your weapons away. She means no harm. She's just scared."
Hammond will put his pistol or back into his holster and check under his pants to make sure, saying, "Oh, still dry. That's good."
Are you wearing your brown pants?
Still dry. It's all good.
There's only you who could go there. Only you. Yes, Numen, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna frown very deeply at Captain because, and he'll say, "Doesn't seem like a good idea."
Well,
Numen, please trust me.
I always get confused when
he says captain.
When he says captain. I'm sort of like, is that Captain Caveman or Captain Kangaroo? Sorry, or is it Captain Minsk? Yeah, I think it was Minsk. Yeah,
it was. Yeah. Numen, trust me with this, please. She's just a girl. She's scared.
Look, if we bring the girl back, that's 3 ways in which we get paid for the same job. Might as well.
Just, Hammond, I know your heart's in the right place, but at the moment it's all about the girl. Please trust me.
Yes, it's all about bringing the girl back so we can get paid.
Just leave that P word out of it for the moment, please.
Okay, so
we know it's going to happen. But, yeah.
I'm gonna keep my hand on my stun baton though if she lunges at me. It's on my belt. It's on my belt, but I'm doing a power masculine stance like this.
If you scream at us again, you're getting stunned.
That's
actually fair.
UK.
That's fair.
This is a UK reference, but I can imagine you standing like Mr. Rigsby.
With who, sorry?
Mr. Rigsby.
Don't
Come here. No.
No.
Oh, I'll have to show you.
Yeah. Post it in Discord. Purdy sort of like comes round and she sort of like says, James, does she require medical attention?
Are you going in ball gag?
I think she may, Purdy. How are your systems holding up? I see she gave you a bit of
Well,
a
for
shock.
some unknown reason, I had to. My systems froze via some sort of static, and I had to reboot. Maybe I can get Mr. Hammond to have a look at it, look at my inner workings, and then she sort of like thinks for a while and says, "I'll run a self-diagnostic."
Probably for the best for you.
So,
Again, well, I want to make contact with the girl again and say, "Are you hurt anywhere?" My friend, my droid over here, she's very good at healing people.
yeah.
If you need any assistance, please let me know, and she will assist you.
Okay, so she seems to let's call her the ward, for want of a better phrase for her, if need be, rather than a name. She seems to understand you perfectly, Minsk, but she doesn't seem to talk. You're not too sure whether or not she's electing to be mute at this point, or whether or not she can't physically talk. You do know that she can scream because you've seen it, but when you ask if she's hurt, she sort of like rubs her wrist where the band was, and then just sort of like has almost like a visual check around her body, then turns back to you and shakes her head.
Wonderful. Sorry, out of character, I imagine it's Black Bolt of a child, if reading his Black Bolt is. But anyway.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Marvel nerds.
Yay.
Just so you know, the area behind her, you can hopefully you can tell from the map, but from here up to here, there's a slight incline, and up at the top here, there seems to be like materials, mattress and things like that. That seems to be the bed area, and you can see that there's various food trays that have been hurled around the place down at the bottom. You figure that they've been sort of like putting things like containers with a straw in that she might be able to suck water out of, but you definitely think she's worked this gag off and was attracting your attention earlier on. Minsk, she's taken she seems to attach herself to you now. She seems to be still quite wary of Hammond, Purdy, and Numen. She seems to be resisting going anywhere near them. And if they do come near her and you, she almost like takes almost like a defensive position around you, very much like a small child would do. So there is some other things that you haven't discovered yet in this in all of this area, and one thing that is still available for you to find, and it's back with the, I don't know if you remember, but you Hammond tried to jinx the bikes, and there was a whole load of stuff round there, and one of the things that were there was because you didn't search the area at the time, and if you remember, Hammond, we said that we would leave your role to later on to see how well you've jinxed them but the other thing that is out there, there's a communication device that has no video communication on. There are some sound bites and a wealth of email communications. It seems to be backwards and forwards to this communicator rather than over the web. And as you look at it, you can see various things. Hammond, just roll your computer skill for me, please.
Let's see if I am worthy. Hey, guess what? Guess what I'm going to do? Because seems like an important plot device, and I want to reinforce that. I'm going to reverse that using my point of luck.
Point of luck. Nice. Okay, then. So that'll be what? 39. Yeah. Okay, then. So what you find on this communicator is a series of messages, and these seem to be going backwards and forwards for some time. And what I'm going to give you, rather than reading out every single communication, I'm going to give you the gist of what is being said. Okay, so the communications appear to be going backwards and forwards from the jury riggers to Claude Debec. Okay, that's where the communication is going backwards and forwards to. The jury riggers say things like, we have her, she's safe, are we selling her? What should we do with her? Things like this, very sort of like, we've done our part of it. What should we do now? Claude's replies start off by saying quite, you need to know your place. You stay there. I will contact you when I am good and ready, etc., etc. And this is when the communications tend to differ and veer off in a different direction. And it's almost like Claude says things like, I've made you, I've given you all that equipment, I've made you as powerful as you are today. Don't you forget that. And things like that, and to sort of like toe the line, do as I'm telling you to do. And then the June riggers, tend to reverse it round and almost start to say, we don't actually need you anymore. We've got all these good things. You know, you've actually you're useless to us now. We have both your gear and the girl. We don't need you for anything now. And the last piece of communication, Claude sends something like, you don't want to go down this route, you will be sorry. And the final communication from the June riggers back to Claude, and it basically says, I don't think we will be. He says, you will regret this. And they reply, just try it. And then that has been, and then the communication stopped some days ago.
Okay. I kind of reiterate back to Captain and my captain, and the other one, Numen.
I forgot my name. I don't matter. I'm just wandering around keeping us safe.
The other one,
I'm the thing that your messages say made them feel full of regret.
Yeah. So, Captain, it looks like we were hired to essentially deal with some past employees for a previous boss. That's essentially what we're here to prove that he should not be trifled with. And these all should be from our new employer, Claude, whatever his face is.
Debec.
Debec, yeah.
Sorry, how about it?
Yeah, sure. It's really up to you how we approach him. In this case, yes.
I have a very good idea how to approach him.
Fighting talk.
No. We're going to do this.
Captain?
No, possibly not at the moment. How we're going to do it, how I think we should do it, and I'd like your input on this. We don't need to tell Debec about the girl. Okay? The girl is not his. He never told us about the girl.
And he never asked us to go find her.
He never even acknowledged to us that he was in control of this mine. He said this mine was his family inheritance that had been taken over by a gang of raiders, and we were to clear them out. These were his employees that he was paying to kidnap a girl, a young girl, and that to me is unforgivable. So we're going to complete our mission with him as our contract, as we've been paid to do. We will not tell him about the girl. We will say, we'll not tell him about his communications. We're going to take those bikes. We'll take everything that isn't nailed down that we can carry. And then we'll go get our money off him for clearing out this base for him. Then we'll hand the girl
Nice.
over to the Blackstar. We'll then settle it with Box. And in our good timely fashion, we will destroy Mr. Beck.
Now, does any of this plan involve me being able to keep some of the things we found here?
Mr. Beck lied to us.
Exactly. So,
he's
you know,
lied.
honestly,
He's
it's really
barefaced lied.
thieving if it's from you know, a lawyer.
Two things he's done. He's lied to us about what's happening here, and he's kidnapped a child.
So,
So you can take, in
that's a
my
yes,
eyes,
right?
Newman, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, I have hard times sympathizing with kidnappers.
Of children?
There we go.
Well, that's in the name, kidnapper.
Yes, it is.
It is, yeah. I
Yeah,
guess
the
that's one
clues
half.
in the name, Minsk.
Duh.
That'll think about it.
So again, let's get this child safe. Do we have a contact with Blackstar?
Yes, you will. They probably left your contact number via normal communications.
In which case, we'd contact straight away and get them to come here to pick up the child. And while that's happening, we can.
Well, we can take
Hammond.
her back to our place, and I can just see one of the bikes.
You sure?
I got to side with Captain here. I thought it through while I was checking out the rest of the place here. And look, if we have, say, Hammond go on a speeder bike, that gives us enough room to put her in the car. But I don't really want to be in the car with her. And I don't want to leave Captain with her. I just see car crashes in my mind.
Well, I'm fine with it, but I'd rather keep this base secure as well, because we're going to, before we go to the back, we're going to empty it as much as we possibly can. For
That's
things
right.
for Hammond, for the bikes, for wherever we can carry.
Well, actually, I was thinking of going back in town, hiring some, you know, cheap labor, and having them come and help us put stuff in a vehicle we rent.
Can't you just drive a vehicle?
Yeah, I'm going to drive the vehicle, but they need to help put stuff in.
No, let's us do that.
I'm an old man. I got a bad back.
I just
that's
love
fine.
how Hammond is just building an empire
I
on
know,
work.
I know. Remember the old saying is, too many eyes make loose, no, whatever. Loose lips sink ships. So the more people that see this place, make a nice
loose
soup.
pies. I don't.
The more people
Order
that see
on
this
me.
place, the word will get out, and they'll know what we've done. So let's just, you go hire a vehicle,
All right.
come back with a big truck or whatever, and we'll get as much of that as possible.
Okay, so just a few points just on your current plan. The first thing that you notice is that this is a very effective hideout, mainly because communications do not seem to work in this mine. Anybody with any sort of like scientific knowledge suggests that there might still be magnetic ore somewhere near, and so this place is actually no communication can get in or out at all. Somebody roll a percentile dice for me, please.
Who wants to do it?
Human,
Oh, I didn't want to do it, but now I can.
hey.
Do
This is gonna go wrong.
It's not perfect.
Right, on a roll of 95, does anybody's sensors skill actually work?
No.
You're welcome,
That's not the
guys.
case. Thank you,
The
Newman.
Captain should do it, but
No, I think you sort of like come to the
Dedication.
conclusion that I'm not going to give you all the information, but you also get a funniest feeling that this area might not be scannable from orbit. And this probably links up with why the Dune riggers keep coming to town, because any communication in this place would be impossible. So there definitely seems to be. You figure that the communication device that were in the with the bikes was probably there because they picked it up when they went out, used it, and then just brought it back. And hence why there's only 2 sort of like communications on it. They probably kept it off until, you know, they were back away from the town, so no other signals could be sent. Your drone, luckily your tracer drone, if you remember, brought you here. However, it couldn't tell you anything else apart from here. The bikes are in the back still, so you can set up communication, but you're going to have to leave the mine in order to do that. So break it down for me, action by action, what's going to be the plan. So what you're going to do first, second, third, etc. And then we can play it out from there.
I was going to say, send Hammond, correct me if I'm wrong, Hammond, send you to town to go get a truck.
Is this via the
speeder bike?
This or the hover car?
No, speeder bike. We've got a hover car here.
Okay.
So it gets 1 bike there.
Say again, sorry. But
so that would get 1 bike to the town.
Yeah.
So we'll put that in near our house or in storage. He'll hire a vehicle, which is a large truck. And while he's there, he can contact the Sons of Blackstar.
Yeah.
And then meet with them in the town and bring them to the mine where they will then pick up the girl. Does that sound sensible? Does anybody get anything else they want to say to that or add to it or shout me down at?
Well, I'm just concerned because we let a lot of people go free. They might see Hammond in town on a nice speeder bike and get some baseball bats and assault rifles.
Do you want to go with him?
You did come out here on. So you did come out here on the hover car, didn't you?
Yes. It's parked a little bit up the right.
To one side. Yeah.
Wait, did you lock the doors?
Oh, this is a bad neighborhood too. No.
Yeah.
So I don't know how comfortable I feel leaving you here alone. With
I'll be fine. I'm protected.
You guys are hurting, right?
Yeah, your protection is
This
unstable.
This little one, but she's fine. She will be fine.
Okay, and
I trust her.
Well, it's weird, Captain, but I think
not to eat.
I think I will go with Hammond to make sure he doesn't get thrown in a ditch.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, can you ride a bike?
I can. I have pilot.
You do,
Numen
but Numen? No.
Numen will have to do that strange thing if he's on a bike that you don't know where to put your arms. Do you?
Your arms.
Do you wrap it around the person in front in a fond embrace, or do you?
Yeah.
You're just like you clench your legs and you're just like, I'm fine. I sit like this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the big spoon, and you'll feel very safe with me wrapped around you. It's going to be big, manly arms that have pulled you to safety in previous adventures, even if we can't remember them.
Let's make sure you know I smell like cabbage and cigar smoke, so just make sure you.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay then. So first things first. Hammond, could you roll your mechanic skill, please?
Actually, I look back. I actually did that beforehand. I did that at the end of the last thing. I rolled before.
That's right.
88 out of 64.
I'm just. Yeah.
It's before all the willpowers. Yeah.
And what was that? Was that how badly you had damaged the bikes?
No, that was supposed to indicate how if I hurt the bikes or not. So
Okay, yeah. So you didn't do a good job on them at all. You were totally they. To be honest with you, they weren't even damaged. You don't know what you did, but you didn't damage them.
I thought the mirror was the throttle. And that's-
Yeah.
The mirror was bent. That's what you did. I remember that.
And you might notice that just under there's a roll that I made as well.
Yeah.
So the first thing that you do notice, so you sort of like get one of these bikes together, and you'll ride pillion, I'm assuming, Numen. But one thing that you do notice, you sort of like get to the cave entrance, the mine entrance, and everything seems fine. But there is something missing. You quickly identified that Minsk's hover car is no longer in the place it was left. So when the others left, I rolled a percentile dice and said, below 50, they go one way, above 50, they go the other way. And so I got 52, so they went the other way, and it looks like they probably found your hover car. So
We are
you
so
We
going
left it
to
unlocked.
die.
We thought we could just get away with leaving it unlocked because we'd have to run back.
yeah, you do.
I tied it up so it wouldn't wander off.
You do notice there is something that remains of the hover car. It looks like they've gemmed the door or something, or fired at it. There's bits of metal on the ground roundabout, and there's quite a red soaking patch on the sand because one of the people were quite damaged. But yeah, can I just please remind you that anything that you store in the hover car has gone as well. So anything that you had on your sheets that were in the hover car have gone. Yeah, so you do, Numen, you picked this up quite quickly, that they've had a significant start on you.
They stole my shotgun. My brand new double barrel shotgun.
So
What about the rocket launcher? A grenade launcher? Oh, they
No,
won't
remember
find
that-
it.
We turned that into a bomb and fed it to a worm.
Yeah,
We didn't we? Sorry.
They
that
took
wasn't
my
really
double
we.
barrel
It was more of
shotgun.
me, but all right, whatever. It's
The,
fine.
But the royal
my-
we.
Yeah.
My guns are demanding for more blood.
Okay,
They're
so
thirsty.
I will thrust the throttle and try to catch up to them, knowing that they're probably heading to Arid
yeah, okay then. So you can
or that whatever town's called.
throttle away and
Mhm.
head back into Arid, which is a bit of a journey, if you remember, to get there. Minsk and where's Purdy's with you then, Minsk, I take
Yeah,
it?
indeed. Yeah.
Yeah, and the ward is with you as well.
With me, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm going to hold up my hand while she's there and see if she'll hold it.
yeah,
And then we'll perhaps go somewhere a bit less bloody. And I think it was a canteen, wasn't there? So
yeah. Down here, there's a bit of a kitchenette
yeah.
going.
So I'll take it there to get some food and water.
Yeah, and Purdy can go down here. Now, I'm not going to tell everybody to turn mics off or anything like that, because I know you can all role play. We'll only use the data that you are familiar with. So you notice that when you're about Hammond, you don't need to make a piloting roll or anything. You're just driving in a straight line, and that's not a problem. And I'm Numen, I'm not going to get you to make a whatchamacallit roll, a brawn roll to hang on or anything. However, if it does get into combat in a minute, then rolls will be required. So you notice that as you head back to Arid and you start to get closer and closer, you do see on the outskirts of Arid, the hover car. It looks like there's a crowd of people round it, because it looks like it's been driven or autopiloted straight into the side of a shipping container. It's incredibly crumpled at the front. There seems to be a group of people around there who seem to be arguing and shouting and swearing. Hammond and Numen, just roll perception checks for me, please.
Make sure I remember my glasses.
Oh, yeah. Numen, do you wish to look it or not?
I'm seeing red because my shotgun has been stolen from me and maybe now blown up.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because you do notice that one of the people arguing round seems to have a shotgun in their hands that looks very similar to yours. And but Hammond, you look at the fray. It looks like they're getting very angry. There seems to be a lot of people arguing backwards and forwards. However, with your critical success there, you do realize very quickly that there are no dune riggers there. Okay, you quickly scan round, and even the person who's got a shotgun obviously reached in and grabbed it, and it is looking at it and cracks it open to check the breech and then his thing. You also do notice that the I was going to say the boot, but I think, is it the trunk that you have? Yeah. The boot is open, and there seems to be not a lot of stuff left in there. However, anything that is slightly of any value seems to be being tossed around and moved out. Yeah. And you are a little bit away. You can see this happening. What do you wish to do?
I shout to Hammond, to Numen. Should we get our things back first?
Numen is just swearing incoherently.
All right, I'm gonna pull the bike over, pop off, and grab my pistol to aim it at people to put the shit down.
Okay, so there's quite a few people here. It's not one or two. There's 15, 20 people all milling around. You figure that some of them, the shipping container actually belongs to them, and this hovercraft has been driven flat into it. And then you figure what's happened is that they've come out, and there's been other people who've sort of like started to ransack the hover car and take things out. However, all that, you sort of like take your pistol off, you park the bike, you draw your pistol. Numen, I presume you're drawing slug maker. Is that the idea?
Bloody stale. Yeah, I like slug maker though. That's
yeah,
a good one.
I thought
you survive at least that one.
Yeah. So you sort of like stop the bike and sort of like,
and it fits too.
Get off and sort of like start to organize your weapons. But that was not what the perception roll was for. Because as you get off the bike and start going towards this fray, you notice something rather big. This massive shadow that passes over Arid and seems to be heading out towards the mine. It seems to be some sort of streamlined spacecraft. It's obviously lifted off from the starport and is heading streamlined so it can go through the atmosphere, and you hear it as it roars over the top, and there's that shimmer of the air as the plasma outlets sort of like warm the atmosphere quite quickly. This is not generally allowed at all, and you notice that it's taken off and is heading out the way you came. And there's one really important thing that your perception roll was for, because on the underneath of the scout ship it says Debec Ore as it goes over you and starts to head out in the direction that you have come from. Okay, so in front of you, you've got this gang, and you've got a spacecraft heading out to the ore, Debec ore. What would you like to deal with first? Isn't it a shame that you can't communicate?
Yeah, no, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's like good morning. We definitely can't outrun a massive ship either. So it's definitely gonna beat us there regardless.
We now have telepathy.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we need to act quickly here, Hammond. My shotgun is lost. We don't need to bother with that. This situation can handle itself. What we need to do is we need to call the Sons of the Blackstar and then get back there as soon as we can. Hope that they can catch up with us and that maybe we can get there around the same time.
All right,
Or also the one who should be calling, not me, because.
I'll make a call.
But make it quick.
Don't
dawdle on your phone. Got to use quick
Ooh,
words.
what's all
but
this
not my
Facebook
words.
exam?
No, not social media, Hammond.
Ooh, what?
Free
what
porn
kind
sites.
of-
Free porn sites.
No, Hammond, no.
This is
Two for
what kind
one,
of maple
baby
syrup
pleasure.
I am.
Captain's gonna die.
See your auntie in a loving embrace. It just pops up there. For you.
Oh,
There's so many singles in my area.
Yeah.
Are there? I don't think there are in this town. We've
I don't
seen,
know.
like,
That's what it says on my Facebook, and there's nothing.
You've got 42 alerts, notification on your
Ooh.
Facebook. Yeah.
Ooh.
yeah, so
And I need to answer all of them.
Lots of arid brides in your area.
Yeah, and a lot of them are saying DM for promotion or something like that. We will promote you, DM us.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, so
This
yeah.
seems pertinent.
Are you videoing
Yeah,
Sons
I
of
will.
Blackstar or not?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so you contact them, and quite naturally, the video comes on, and the Sons of the Blackstar sort of like turns towards the video. You figure that it's a bit of a strange surrounding where they are. It looks very clean and very, shall I say, hygienic, almost like sterile in the environment. And they turn, one of them turns around, you're not too sure which one it is. And he sort of like, or she sees you in the video feed and says, "Have you located the ward?"
We found her, yes, but there seems to be a little pickle in the plan.
I get it, a little pickle in
Yeah.
there.
The problem is we came out back to town to communicate with you and left her there for protection. But at the same time, the person who owns the mine and who may have hired the people to steal and kidnap her, what it looks like, it's on their way back there to get its items back. So we might need some help.
Please tell me that the ward is safe.
For now, but we might need some help making sure that's still the case.
We will need help, Hammond.
Help in what way?
Well, they're going to drive, flying a ship in that direction.
It is illegal to take off from a starport
I've put that together, but I don't
in the
think this
atmosphere.
Debeck man seems to care. So
Does
you might need to do it illegal as well.
does Mr. Debeck have the ward?
Not yet, no.
Can you feed us the location of the ward? Do you have coordinates? And for the first time ever, Hammond and Numen, you hear this. There definitely seems to be an element of desperation in their voice, that slight air of panic, as if to say, what on earth is going on here? And he sort of like says, where is the ward?
Little question on what you're suggesting, but I'll reluctantly give them the coordinates of where the mine's at.
And the ward is safe in this location.
For now, she's underground in a mine.
There's a bit of a pause, and they turn to you and say, the ward is not at that location. We are not reading any signal for her.
Well, it's a mine underground, and there's hard to communicate through because of the ores.
The ward is underground.
Yes, that is what I was saying. Yes,
underground but safe.
Yes, Jesus Christ. Yes.
Can you
bring the Jesus Christ part?
Can you bring the ward to us?
Yes, but currently there is a giant ship going through the atmosphere towards her to get her back.
But But the ward is safe. We have your reassurance that she is safe.
Currently, at the moment, yes. In a few hours, probably not. Help us.
Mr. Hammond, what is your location?
I'm right in the edge of town on Arid.
We will be with you shortly.
Fantastic.
Okay, and at that point, we're going to, as Hammond and Numen wait at the edge of Arid for the Sons of the Blackstar to arrive. And we're going to zip back to you, Minsk, because you are blissfully unaware of everything that is happening. You probably
that's food.
Well,
yeah,
we're in the cantina and we're having a one-sided conversation.
Yeah,
and maybe Purdy's saying something randomly.
Yeah, and she's sort of like saying, "Oh, don't eat that, James. The cholesterol value of that is extremely high. The sugar content, do not feed it to the child." You know, and
Purdy, she needs a little sugar.
Yeah, and you're sort of like communicating backwards and forwards with the ward, and she's sort of like nodding, and you sort of like offer her food, and she nods and quickly starts to eat it, and she starts to drink as well.
If there's a little bit of water around the cloth, maybe I'm going to just tentatively try to lean across and maybe wash her face a little bit.
Oh, you're not going to do what my mum used to do and spit on a hanky and then...
The most disgusting thing in the world, but they still did it.
Do you know, I saw somebody, I told somebody about that, and they said, "Oh, that's disgusting. My mum never used to do that." I said, "Well, what did your mum do?" They said, they made me spit on the hanky. What? So it was my own spit that was going on the face.
Do you know, what happens if you got a cold?
Spit on that, spit.
Yeah. I'm full of flu.
Now, as you remember, in the underground ore mine shaft, the motion sensors are,
triggered by light.
Yeah.
So the light comes on if somebody goes past.
Yeah, so you're probably you've got the light on in your area, and you're sort of like using food, making food, and everything seems to be absolutely perfect. The ward is becoming more and more accustomed to your talk and your actions. She still does not say anything to you, but she seems to be more familiar and accepting of you. And even Purdy, sort of like now, I have scanned the young girl, James. She seems to be in slightly malnutritioned, but apart from that, she seems in very healthy, which is quite surprising due to her situation. And back at Arid, 4 seekers appear at your location, Numen and Hammond. They come in their typical black garb, looking like they're floating over the sand as their black robes sort of like drape along the sandy ground, and they come straight up to you, and one of their black perspex faces are in place, and they come straight up and they just say, was that your hover car?
Yes, it was stolen from the people that happened to steal or kidnap your I don't know, your Messiah lady.
The ward.
The ward.
Yeah.
It is imperative that we get her back as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Where's
so
the car? Where did they just literally like walk up, or did
Yeah.
they walk out of it? Numen is very upset. Hammond, we need to go now. They're not going to help us. They probably can't even hold a shotgun. We need to drive back now. You 4, if you want to help out, maybe get a vehicle and some weapons, maybe an assault rifle or just an auto pistol.
if anything, just grab us your ship and drop us off there.
You just, at that point, when you're talking about shotguns, you see 2 people from Arid walking by, and one saying, I got this really good shotgun. It was just there. It looks almost like brand new. It's got a nice weight about it as well. Did you pay for it? No, it was just in the car and I got it. Let's go and shoot tin cans. Yeah, let's do that. Or some swamp rats. And they sort of like go, and he sort of like puts your shotgun, over his shoulder, and says, and then the Sons of Blackstar says, we will do what we can. We have the location. Leave it to us now.
Okay, Hammond, please, let's go. Solve the problem.
Fine. All right. Well, good luck. We're gonna head that way. Hopefully, you can do something more productive than, I don't know, just promising us that you'll do something.
And they sort of like turn to each other, and one of them says, this is a fine predicament. I am not too sure whether or not the ward is safe or safe. I am somewhat confused by Mr. Hammond's rendition of this. Do you think we should help in some way? They say that the ward is protected and safe. For that, I do not know. Okay, so you hop back on your hover, your speeder bike. Is that the idea? And dash back to the place, the mining ore. Right. You're going to push it, I assume.
The what?
You're going to push it. You're going to
speeder racer style.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought like you ran out of gas. I was like,
Oh yeah.
Pushing
like,
us.
Pushy.
We'll push it all the way there.
You're going to floor it then. Is that
yes,
yeah.
I will floor it.
Yeah. So let's just roll your pilot skill. It's going to be an easy roll. There's nothing to worry about on the way here.
Say that,
but
but then my roll indicates knows what.
Oh, okay. No, no, no.
Yeah,
We're good.
and you sort of like fly away with Newman holding tightly round your waist, and you sort of like head off, and you can't see the ship anymore now. It's gone, and just before we break for our for the one and only break, I was going to say first break then, we're going to zip back to the mine, and as you're there, you're sort of like talking, Minsk, and you suddenly notice that Purdy sort of like flickers a bit as if she's received a communication or something, and she looks back down the corridor down to here. Yeah, can you see where I'm pinging?
I can indeed, yeah.
Yeah, and it seems that the light from this corridor, which was off before,
Yeah.
has just come on. There is definitely somebody coming down to the mine, and that seems to be a perfect place, with Hammond and Numen dashing back, hugging each other tightly on a speeder bike.
But gently.
But gently.
No, it's time.
One's doing the hugging, the other one's being awesome and cool.
So
You do
Newman's
that,
being
Anakin,
cool.
aren't you?
Is it Newman who's being cool or not?
No, I'm
Definitely
this is a
Hammond.
friendly embrace.
Got friendly embrace. And yeah, and it looks like Minsk. Don't worry, you've got
There may
all
be trouble ahead.
Don't worry, you're a good combat person. And Purdy's brilliant in a fight.
Yeah, as a shield.
It reminds me, have you watched Mandalorian?
Yeah, yes.
And the
Oh,
first bit when the scout droid, this robot bounty hunter, keeps saying,
yes.
"I shall self-destruct. Shall I self-destruct? We are outnumbered. Shall I self?" And he keeps saying, "No." I think Purdy's going to do that. It's like, "Shall I self-destruct? Shall I self-destruct?"
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Right, we are going to take a quick 15-minute break. We'll be back at 1:45, and we'll see what's happening in the mines, and we'll see how whether or not Minsk can withstand the return of somebody, and whether or not Newman
The
Hammond.
total power of this fully operational stance.
Yeah, we should have something that every time you get a Star Wars quote and you get something. I think, yeah, that'd be good. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break. Do go off, grab something to eat, grab something to drink, and we'll be back at 1:45. Okay, we take a little bit longer because Mr. Pickles has to make his lunch because it's lunchtime.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, kill a lettuce.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll be back at 1:45 to see how the next part of the adventure goes. Thank you for joining us, and yeah, we'll be back real soon. Going for gold. Right, let's put that
A
on.
telegram proper.
Welcome back to Mithras in Space, brought to you by caffeine and alcohol.
Yay!
Both, yeah.
Oh, wow, you're starting early, young man.
It's afternoon.
Is it?
46 minutes afternoon.
Exactly. And, I mean, it's...
Do you know what? Do you know what? I like the way you rock.
I didn't you just
I
say
did that
that?
on my holidays ago. Right, it's gone 12.
Did you not say that you just woke up about, like an hour and a half ago?
Do you know, it's when he
I know,
posted.
yeah.
It's when he posted at 6 a.m. this
2
morning
hours.
saying I'm ready for today, and I'm like,
Yeah.
6 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to work.
Yeah, exactly.
So
was
yeah.
up late.
So welcome back, everyone. Have you got something nice, Mr. Pickles?
I made myself a quesadilla with guacamole.
Oh.
Cilantro, red onion.
I know what.
So we are coming to live with you for a bit.
Guacamole. That's like avocado mashed up, isn't it?
Well, it's gorgeous.
Yeah. I don't know what the first one. What did you say it was?
Quesadilla. 2 tortillas with cheese melted between,
No,
pan-fried.
no idea.
Yeah.
Never seen.
I
Oh,
like maybe meat in it as well. A little bit of mince.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
there as well.
I usually put
That's
chicken.
what normal people do.
can
They
you
put meat in
buy
the quesadilla.
those in Sainsbury's a pack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tortilla packs. Yeah.
Yeah, and it has. Yeah, I've never had
You
one.
have to buy the
but-
meat separately, of course. But
Yeah.
if you
I've
have
never-
meat, or you can put guacamole. The guacamole comes with it as well. And
It's such an easy thing to make. I don't see why you would have to.
Oh,
put
but it's so
pack.
nice though. A bit messy, but nice.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah. Oh,
When you first said, I
we
thought
used to have fajita Fridays.
I thought you said that you were eating some insects. What they're called? It's called cicadas or something.
Oh, cicadas. Yeah.
Well, as a vegetarian, he has to find his protein elsewhere.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm a vegetarian as well. Just remember that.
You
I-
have to see him Will's grazing in the garden.
Yeah, chomping on a dandelion. We don't cut the grass around here. I just go out for lunch. No. It's, right, we're Hammond
Sorry.
and Numen. You are going back full speed, and we're back in the underground mine. And yes, Minsk, you've just noticed the light going on down here, which is the entrance tunnel. Your light is on as
Anyway,
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you?
I'm going to say to Penny, well, they've done very well. They've been very fast. Do you want to go and
Greet
no,
them.
yeah. No, I don't think I would. No.
Decisions.
No, I'm trying to envision what Minsk would do. Well, Penny, they've been really fast. Let's get ready to go, and I'll start just packing up a few things from the table,
we'll greet them
bottled
with
water and that
protesters.
sort of thing,
Yeah.
and getting the ward ready to move out.
Yeah. So, in which how are you leaving your area? Are you just sort of
Well, I mean,
like
it's-
a rough
Yeah, it's
marching
simple.
order?
We'll go this way. I'll be leading with the ward with my hand. Again, I'll be holding her hand if she'll let me.
Yeah.
Just so she's there, and I've got a hand in my hand. A Purdy will be behind us, just walking towards the entrance. Because
she does that weird thing that you sort of like hold out your hand like that, and she goes and holds out her hand as well, and then and you.
Well, in that which case, I'll just not tightly. I'll just gently put my hand over hers and lead her forwards with me.
Yeah, and that doesn't take you a lot of time, and you're just about to leave your kitchenette area when you notice down here, if you can see where I'm pinging, you notice something catches your eye as what appears to be a metal canister, sort of like click clacks down to this place. It just comes out. It says, what do you wish to do? Immediate reaction. No thinking.
Scoop her up in my arms and move backwards to here.
Yeah.
Around that corner.
So you sort of like see it and really react instinctively, and you turn round and grab her, and you sort of like get round there, and Purdy goes, what are you? And there's a sort of like a
Purdy, take cover.
bang, you know, and it seems to be, you've heard things like it wasn't an explosion as
More like
such.
a concussion grenade.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely sort of like some form of stunning, and it didn't reach you. It has, it sort of like fell, let me just put it on, it has a 20 meter radius, so it sort of like came up to about here. But there was a lot of, you heard the metal door down below, down, sort of like rattle a bit, and there was definitely a and then silence.
I'm going to whisper to Purdy. Purdy, can you turn these lights off?
She sort of like she looks at you and says, "You want the lights off, James? You want them off?
If the lights are on, they know where we are."
But is it not Zach and Arthur coming back?
Zach and Arthur wouldn't throw a incendiary device at us.
Well, yes, that is true. Numen would be a lot more, but Hammond, I wouldn't put it past him, actually.
Purdy, please turn the lights off if you
can. She sort of like
immediately.
She sort of like goes over to one side and she rolls. We'll see how well she does. You just want them off, don't you?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
I want darkness here because the motion sensors turn them on. I want them turned off.
Yeah, she doesn't have electronics right there, so she'll try to do a hard sensor roll to try to. She does have luck.
All right. Okay.
It's her choice, isn't it?
Yeah, she has 2 points of luck, so she will use it and reverse it to a 5. Okay. And you notice that the lights go off. She seemed to have disabled the sensor, the motion tracker, rather than the lights. The lights still to be still operable, but that's it. And you hear a voice. Sort of like coming from further down. Are you in that kitchen area, or are you peeking out? What's the idea?
No. Cover is our best thing at the moment, so I want to stay.
Yeah, nice one.
Hidden.
Yeah, and you sort of like hear a very familiar voice. It seems to be Claude voice. And he sort of like says, "Gentlemen, I know you are there. Please do not make this more difficult than what it already is."
I'm going to ignore it completely and stay silent. I'm sure it's pitch black in here now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice and dark, yeah.
I'll give the ward's hand just a reassuring squeeze.
Yeah.
And then, if I can, I want to use my other hand to maybe put my one finger to her lips.
Yeah. Okay. She doesn't seem to be making a noise. You do notice that when she hears this voice, she sort of like flicks. She looks up at you, looks in the direction of the voice, as if to say, I know this person. Ooh. And there's silence for a while. Then you hear the faint click, 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 as if a metal container is rolling somewhere. And then there's another boom. And then...
Do I notice if it's getting closer, or...?
It seems to be slightly, probably round about the same area. Roll your insight for me. It's going to be a hard roll because you're not used to grenades or anything like that.
Yeah,
you might.
These caves will echo around a lot as well.
Yeah. You remember some Numen talking about how in one evening at the Dry Gypsy, you remember Numen telling you about how they raided houses with shield, and you figure what they're doing is throwing grenades or stun grenades down the passageways. So almost like it sounds as if it might have been down here or down here.
Right.
It wasn't definitely up your end. That is for sure. You do notice, however, from your vantage point behind the wall, that you think this light sensor here has been activated, because you can see the light coming up the corridor towards you. You're well away from it. You hear Claude's voice again, and he says, "Gentlemen, please don't make this more difficult than what it is."
Again, not replying, not rising to it. Going to keep quiet. This little prat's going to get it.
And then you there's a silence again, and then a familiar da 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 as the cat then go boom, boom, and you figure it was either this corridor or this corridor. There's a silence again, and then you hear Claude's voice says, "Oh dear, I see we are going to play it difficult." He sighs, or almost like a melodramatic sigh, and says, "I've patched it up with my friends. We now have a common enemy. Believe me, it will not take me very long to take back what is mine and dispose of you three, shall we say, mercenaries." Purdy leans forward to you and says, "Mr. James, I don't think I classify as a mercenary. I'm a medical robot."
Now.
Oh, sorry.
And again, we're just going to hunker down, keep quiet. I'm going to keep reassuring by not talking, but by maybe rubbing her back or just patting your hand.
She goes,
She burps. Damn. But just keeping, her behind me in a protective stance.
Yeah. And what happens next is probably what you thought was going to happen, because a canister comes down your corridor. You almost like get the feeling that they were quite close, maybe here or here, and they roll this canister down, and it sort of like rolls down to here. And Purdy looks at it and says, "James, I think this," and it goes bang. Okay, work out your add your constitution to your size, and then divide it by 2 and round up.
Constitution to my size, which is going to be 10, and 10, 20, divided by 2.
10.
10.
Nice. Okay, so that's your stun combat pool. So that's what we're adding this to. Dump that. So the grenade goes off, and it does a grand total of 8 points of stun damage to you. So it sort of like goes off, and you probably at the last minute turn around and cover the ward as it sort of goes bang, and explodes. Let me just see what...
That was a pretty lucky roll for our end.
It was.
Question.
Yeah, I got a 1 and 2 in there. That's pretty good.
Does armor protect on stun damage? Or...
No.
I couldn't.
No, it goes straight through, doesn't it? Yeah.
Purdy is still operational. Her stun pool is 12. So she's still operational, but she sort of like gets knocked back in the blast, and it's almost like a percussion grenade, in the sense that there's a thing that sort of like rocks out. The girl, the ward, that actually takes out her stun. You actually protected it somewhat, Mince, but it's still enough to knock the girl out. And yeah, so you are up, but you've got 2 things off your.
Yes, I'm shaken.
Yeah, you're very
shaken.
shaken at the moment. Yeah, you're going to get to go first. What would you like to do?
How do I play this? Beck, you almost had me there. If another one of those canister comes down here, you won't be. No, that's wrong. Let's not do that. No, can't do that. I was going to say I'm going to shoot the kid, but if she's still away, that's no good.
Look at Pickle's face.
No, I wasn't going to do it, but I was going to do it as a threat. Oh God! Right, I tell you what we'll do this way. I'm not going to say anything, but I'm going to grab the girl if I can, and we're going to leg it up to this top junction up here, which is not pinging for me.
Up there,
or sort of, if you get around that corner there, it'd be fantastic. But I'm hoping she doesn't weigh that much, and I can perhaps pull her with me.
Yeah.
Once I get there, if I can make it, tell me if I'm going too far here. If I need to make any rolls or anything. But if I can get there, I then want to turn, flick out my pistol, and shoot down the corridor. I'm not going to aim for anything. I'm just going to shoot.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you're almost like in full protection mode, and you pick up the girl. Just do a brawn roll. It's easy because she's quite light. I'm not. It's just so I know how quick you're going to move with her. You can pick up.
Shit, the bed.
Yeah, you see the adrenaline is moving. You scoop her up and keeping her tight hold of her, and almost like using your own body as a shield. You head up. That way. Purdy will probably stay where she is because you won't have time to give her.
No, my instinct, Purdy's Purdy. My instinct is to protect the girl.
Yeah, and so what happens as you go round and start moving up is when 2 shots are fired.
Should have killed him.
They're not bullets. They seem to have swapped their weapons away from 9mm pistols, and there's definitely a pew pew sound as they come flying towards you. I just need the. I've still got the 9mm, but they're using blaster. Is it 1d8 for blaster pistols?
Yeah, it's 1d8. Yeah.
So these are set to stun. So the first one does 4 points damage, and the second one does 2 points of stun damage.
I can feel the burn on my back as they hit, but they've not gone through to my skin. My arm has absorbed it, but as I'm running up the corridor, I will have that jar.
Yeah.
But I'm still keeping the child in my arms as I run up there.
Yeah, and you continue to run, as you get up here. You can turn round and do a quick shot at them if you wish at this point.
No, my priority is keeping her in front of me and safe.
Yeah.
So
And
when I get around the corner, I'll be doing exactly that.
yeah, and do you almost like expect another 2 shots into your back, but nothing seems to come, and you sort of like make it around the corner as the second grenade is tossed down the corridor. Obviously, they've seen that their blasters are not working as such, and then they throw the next grenade. That's a better shot, and you just feel it hit your back and forces you to the ground. Luckily, you don't land and flat out on the ward, but you do collapse to the ground.
If I do feel myself falling to my knees and go forward, I will thrust her forward away from me
to keep her safe.
Yeah.
And the last thing you see as you just drift off to unconsciousness is the sight of one of the dune riggers looking back down at you. So Hammond and Numen, you get to the place as quickly as you possibly can, but you almost like know you're too late, because as you are approaching the mine entrance, you notice that the scout ship lifts off and blowing sand everywhere. You're in the distance, so you're all right, you're not caught by it, and it slowly rises up off the sand, streamlined to cut through the atmosphere, and slowly turns not towards the way that you have come, a different way altogether, and almost like lifts itself up into the atmosphere, and then it probably sticks on its impulse drive and shoots off into space. As Hammond and Numen, you arrive at the mine. What you can see at the moment is everything is in darkness. There seems to be no light coming down. The motion sensors are still intact, but apart from that, that's it. Numen, you'll probably take the lead here.
I'm angry that phone call took way too long. We could have been here in time if that phone call hadn't taken too long. We waited for them for minutes. Okay, we need to go down here. We need to see if maybe... Okay, no. Minsk is good at hiding. We know that. Bring it in. We'll stop. And if we have any greeting grenades, we'll throw a greeting grenade. But since we obviously don't... Okay.
Right.
Bring it in there, and then
Let's look for the cotton.
Just in case.
So I'm assuming that both of you have got your weapons drawn and heading down. I imagine Numen's...
I feel like we would drive right down. We wouldn't just like walk down here.
We drive down to a distance, but Numen wanted us to get off, and then walk.
Yeah, so you
like 100
probably
feet.
drive down to where your drone is hovering.
Mm-hmm.
And you get down to that part. You do notice that your drone is no longer hovering there. It's actually, it looks like it's a bit battered. You're not too sure whether or not it's operational or not. But it definitely looks like it's been hit by something, and there's several dents in it. And you get down to the entrance point, and you can see as you come down, Numen, that there's definitely been some kind of stun grenade set off. You notice that the walls have almost like have the blast from it. It hasn't done damage, but you notice areas on the ground where the sand's been blasted away by it. And you notice that in all the corridors, the front one and the one to your right has happened, and even to the one to your left. You probably take that one first because you know that's where you left Minsk, and you sort of like pass through here. You notice that this area here, the door is still up, and as you get to this part, you notice that the lights don't actually come on, and you notice that Purdy is there. She's been knocked over, and it looks like she's taken some small arms fire. She's not actually operational. She doesn't seem to be turned on. It looks like she's got she's taken some blaster fire to her chest and to her head, and she's currently seems to be inoperable and lying quite battered on the ground, not in a sort of like a favorable position. You're sure one of her robotic arms might be loose as well. Yeah, Numen, you approach it first and you see her. What would you like to do?
Well, this is the reason why I bought that heavy flashlight. Besides breaking people's skulls in, I'm gonna use it for its actual like normal purpose. This isn't good.
So your torchlight sort of like shines over her and sees her in her
Disarrayed form.
Yeah, very much
you do
so.
something, Hammond? You know.
I'll look at her really quick. Go find the captain. I'll take care of her.
Do you have a flashlight?
I have the goggles.
Okay, so you figure out some way to either give me a mechanical or electronics check, Hammond.
Please don't jury rigor.
What can I do? I don't have robotics, but
no
mechanical check.
Mechanical. I'm seeing whether or not you can patch the lights back on. That's what. So you can either do mechanical or electronic. It's up to you.
It's only 1 point difference. All right.
Yeah, you managed to reconnect the sensor that has been the motion sensor that's been disconnected, and the lights goes on. It looks like Purdy's not in the best of situations. She definitely looks like she's been played with or has had a fight with a blaster. When you come round the top of their Numen, you see Minsk face down on the floor.
I'm gonna immediately go to him and see if he's still alive. First off, like I'll check for a pulse, and then go from there, I guess.
Yeah,
Walk through my head.
So you roll him over. He definitely seems to be alive. He seems to be unconscious rather than anything else. And you sort of like check him, and he seems to be absolutely fine until you get up to his head and his face. There seems to be a lot of blood across his face. You don't really roll your first aid. Do you have a first aid?
I got a first aid.
What?
Yeah, all right, Captain. Let's see if I'm gonna fix your face or just give you a kiss.
Oh,
I gave you a kiss.
It's a kiss. He seems to be all right. To put it an unfortunate way, it looks like somebody's stomped on his beloved face. It looks like they probably got a special and use that wonderful one that I can never think of
Mark.
the situation. But
Mark a thingy on his face.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
Mark.
looks like
Oh.
they have
Oh.
scarred foe.
Now you're as ugly as me.
Not ugly. It
No.
doesn't. It doesn't change.
Mine's dashing.
It doesn't change any of your attributes or anything like that. But
Oh, somebody's gonna die.
I thought that might be the reaction.
His
But
face, my shotgun, and Hammond's drone,
yeah,
and the car.
things are not going well.
And Purdy.
No, Purdy.
Oh yeah, and Purdy.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you start to administer first aid, and you notice that he's quite bruised when he's hit the ground, etc. His face is a mess, but you notice that there's no real damage to him. It looks like his armor has absorbed a lot of the shock, and the boot to the face was probably a parting gift rather than we're going to kill you. Hammond, let's see, roll your electronics to see whether or not you can get Purdy up and running. This would be a hard roll, just so you know. Mainly because you don't have any tools with you, etc. Just one on your
Well,
belt.
there's tools in the up here, right?
Yeah, those were there. What you can right the way up here was the mechanical tools for the bikes, but you might be able to find something in this alcove if you want to go.
Yeah, I'll go and
do it.
check it out if I could, just
Yeah.
to kind of make sure it's not a hard roll.
Yeah, so you sort of like go. You don't trust your electronics at all.
Well, it's just like I don't.
obviously.
Well, the hard roll is going to bring it down to like 40% chance compared to a 63.
Mhm. Yeah, so you go around there and you rummage around, and they're not the best sort of tools, but it will take it down to a standard roll. Numen, you're bringing Minsk around, and as he comes around, he sort of like struggles a bit, and you sort of like have to say, no, wait. He sort of like goes like that, and his pistol shoots out into
yeah.
his
Where is she?
hand. Yeah, you can you can do it, Minsk. I'm not going.
Yeah, where is she? Where is she safe?
I don't think so, and I don't know. Look, we're getting things worked out here. We just arrived. There's a phone call, whole fiasco. I'm sorry we took too long, Captain. We came as fast as we could.
I thought it was you coming back for me. And then the first explosion went off.
When we got to town, there was a car that was crashed. It doesn't matter whose car right now, but there's a car that the shotgun was stolen.
Yeah, he's
and our house is on fire.
He's
But
in
that doesn't matter.
he's in a fragile state. Don't tell him that his hover car's been.
Yeah. Oh
So
god.
yeah, like the car that we saw in town was destroyed, and we tried to get the Sons of the Blackstar to help, but then we saw a ship going over. Well, I didn't really see it. It was Hammond that pointed it out. There's a ship that was Debec Ore. So we tried to get the Sons of the Blackstar to come help us, but they took forever, and then they didn't even have a ship or anything. They didn't even come with a car. Anyways,
They just floated across.
we were trying to outrun a spaceship.
Mm.
And when we arrived here, we saw them leaving. So, as you can guess.
I'm gonna wipe my face so I can see properly.
Yeah,
And-
that's really sort of like
Yeah.
I wouldn't touch that if I were you.
I said, what bastard?
Oh,
Sorry. It was those.
They're
It was
also
Debec.
kidnappers, probably.
It was Debec and those goddamn Jew riggers we let go. Do you know, there's a point where you think you make a good decision, and it comes back to bite you in the ass.
Maybe we should institute a no witnesses policy.
At this point,
I'm not fighting it.
to be fair, Newman, I let them go because I know of your morals, and I don't want to shoot an unarmed person myself. It was a good decision to make, but it just goes to show there are some people in this world
You just
or
can't trust.
in
This universe.
you can't trust.
They stole
So-
your car.
Yeah. If we see them again, no second chances.
I like that, Newman. You just slotted that in, and he didn't hear
I
it.
know.
He
I did.
was,
I was monologuing.
yeah, he
Do
just
it, it's
slipped it in there. Hammond.
Hey,
well,
what car?
yeah. I lost my shotgun. Hammond.
Will those tools help bring it to
yeah,
a
so
normal
it's a
attraction?
standard roll now. So electronics, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you sort of like connect
That's
some
something.
wires and reboot her system, and she sort of like struggles up. You think some of her gyroscopes that help her to keep balance are not working perfectly, and she's a little bit wobbly, and she sort of like says, running self-diagnose, and she
Just shut up, Purdy, and just do the thing you need to do.
yeah, and the light from behind her eyes goes off, but you can hear she seems to be running a diagnostic check to see what's actually working and what's not working.
Okay.
She's going to take her a while to get round. Numen and Minsk, you probably come back down, yeah?
Yeah, my next step would be to take Captain over to see the situation. Probably saying something like, Purdy might be able to help with that face of yours.
Purdy warns you that she's not running on full capacity, which generally means all her rolls, all her skill checks, etc., are hard now rather than standard. She feels that she should warn you about this before dealing with any damages.
Yeah. At which point I want to address Hammond and Numen and say, it's not your fault. It's my fault. I made the wrong call. We should have all gone and left this place. I just thought with no communications here, the girl would be safe. This is on me. And I should have done better.
We've all made our mistakes, Captain. We should have made that call, knowing that Blackstar's meant nothing, and they're nothing more than just stupid, religious fanatics.
Came to our plan together, though. I don't think anybody's at fault here. We all agreed.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's do this.
The book stops here.
Purdy says, would this be an appropriate moment to initiate a group fondle?
A bloody what?
A group hug?
Oh.
Do you know what?
She's not working on full power.
No. Do you know what? Minsk he will go with that, and he'll get Numen and Kangaroo and Hammond, and you guys have come back. We're going to get this.
I would
We're
love
going
to
to sort
see
this.
Newman's face at this point.
He would just frown and just give a side eye to Hammond as he's being pulled in. He just keeps his arms to his side.
It's fine because at the moment I'm rubbing my face on your top.
So,
if Max is still watching, he's probably thinking, I think I might not play Space with this.
He asked me, how serious is the group?
we're
I said,
We're
well,
But it's kind of random, isn't it? We have
Say
those
4
dark
out of 10.
moments, then we have those
yeah,
special
60% of the time we're having a goof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
40% of the time we're having people kidnapped
But
and blowing off legs.
you don't ever threaten the mission
No.
or do
Yeah, that's
something
the
daft.
40%.
Right.
pissing off.
How long before Purdy's ready?
Purdy's
It's
operational. She's at 60% operation at the moment.
Okay. There's 3 speeder bikes.
Yeah,
We
4.
didn't necessarily check
3.
them, did we?
Oh, yes,
There's
Paul, you
still
brought your one
enough.
back, didn't you? You brought one back, didn't you?
Yeah,
Sorry.
so it's still 4. But
Um,
so this is my suggestion. I'll take a speeder bike. If you're able to drive, you take a speeder bike. They both
I
jump
can
on our
drive.
bikes. Yeah. And then we go back, maybe figure out and maybe bring the stuff up here, continue our thing, because I think we need a surveillance to watch our back for a bit. But
we need to find the girl. We need to contact the sons of Blackstar and tell them what's happened.
Here's the thing, Cotton. I don't think the ship went back to town. I think, if most cases, it went back to another system, meaning we're going to have to leave here to go find her.
Mm.
So
Well,
we're going to have to figure that out later.
We still need to tell Blackstar.
They have a ship, don't they?
Well, I'm
That's what they told
assuming
us.
so,
There
but
was a plan to get on the ship after we got her and brought her to him.
yeah, but we still need to tell Blackstar. That's the most
Here-
important thing.
Here's
Tell
what
them.
I need to actually do, though. The only way we're going to find them is we have to. I'm probably going to have to hack the starport systems
No.
and figure out where they.
They just
Max,
they
they
took-
need you. They need you for that.
they took an illegal flight. Even I would know that you're not supposed to fly that sort of
Yeah.
ship from a starport across the land to a
So
certain
The
area.
law.
we're going to have to
So- so-
hack
so-
the starport
so they've
systems
broken the
and
law
figure out
doing
where
that.
to put-
And then they've left the system. They're not going to leave a flight plan with a starport.
No, but but the starport's connected to other starports, I assume.
I think,
Meaning, go ahead.
well, I think you'd be better going to Debec's office with well, Hammond and I will go see Box. We'll clear that up. Then we'll contact Blackstar. You can go to Debec's office and go through whatever's there, or we can all go there and go through whatever's there and find out if there's any trails to where he's going, any computer systems there that you can go through. He must
agree.
have foreknowledge of where he's going to. He must. This has all been planned. He planned
possibly has another
to have
hideout.
that. Yeah, he planned to have that child kidnapped. It went bad for him, so he hired us to sort it out to get rid of the people who previously hired to kidnap the kid.
Mhm.
So there's got to be a trail somewhere where he's been to where he's going. Yeah, it's bumper cars. Bonk.
All right.
Does that
Sounds
make
good, Captain.
sense?
I still feel like we need to grab the items here eventually, but there's no
Oh, yeah.
rush.
There's no just.
There's now our
We're
items.
stripping this place down to the bedrock.
Yeah, because there's some bad news when we get back, but we'll talk about it later.
Okay, so you have a discussion about what's going to happen, and you look at your speeder bikes. You can probably attach Purdy to one of these as well, as they so you can probably use them all in that sense, and you will need to get some form of transport to come back and get all the stuff, most definitely. And you heading back to Arid, and you come out of the mine system, and at that point you actually see, landed a fair distance away but safely, you see a scout ship, an exact, almost like copy of Debec Oars and Claude's. However, this one looks slightly different. Minsk, roll your piloting skill. Yeah, there's something not something unfamiliar about it. It looks like it's been adapted in some way. And you notice that as you come out, the Sons of the Blackstar are walking towards you. And as you get close. They see you coming out. You sort of like go to them on your speeder bikes, and when you stop, they sort of like say that.
But before they do that, I'm gonna get off my bike.
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk towards them. I'm gonna fall to my knees in that exhausted kind of way. I'm gonna have my head bowed. I'm gonna say, I'm sorry. I tried to save her.
Yeah.
But they've taken her.
And they sort of like, one of them looks at you, Minsk, and says, "We have her location. She appeared on
my head will snap up.
Yeah, she appeared on our scanners some time ago, and we took the advice of Mr. Hammond and Mr. Numen. We have broken several starport laws, but our scout ship awaits."
We can follow her now.
These it will take us several hours to reach safe hyperspace jump point from the system. We can probably either intercept beforehand or maybe trace her, but please, time is of an essence at the moment.
I agree. Now I'll get to my feet. Do you have a cargo bay? We can put these in, or should we leave them?
It is totally up to you. I think this is the one.
Putting them in the cargo bay is preferable.
I guess the question is there cargo bay filled with other things, as is traditional with a scout ship? Or is it open cargo, or are they transporting bulk electronics goods?
Well, the best.
They might have one of those U-boats or
the
whatever.
best thing to decide is that I'll let you decide yourselves.
Ooh, that's a shot right there. Oh,
Right, Hammond and I will run back into the base and get the 2 speeders.
So it does. It does have a cargo. I can hear you all scrolling round it. It does has a cargo bay, and the cargo bay is currently empty. It's here on the deck, deck 1. Just to let you know, there's Minsk has gone straight up to the command center, the bridge. You can see it's basically a standard S-class scout ship. However, when you get to the actual bridge, you suddenly notice why it's been adapted. There were several additional things around the outside, but it seems to be purely driven via autopilot. It seems that the Sons of the Blackstar have no flying skills between them at all. But what they have got is a ship that will allow them to fly anywhere just via the navigation system. Of course, it is possible to override that, Minsk, if you would like to.
Oh yes. Right, let's get these bikes on board, because wherever we go, we may need transport straight away.
Oh, one thing I guess I forgot to mention. I've assumed I could always pick it up later, but are you going to allow me to pick up my scouting pieces, my scouting droid pieces, or no?
Yeah, you can pick that up. That's not an issue at all. But yeah, they are pieces, most definite. So you should be able to see the different places. So Numen here, that's it.
I know where I belong.
That is the up to the dorsal turret. There is here, if you can see here,
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yep.
that's the that goes down to the
Sure.
cargo bay.
Oh,
So
okay.
the cargo bay sort of like sits below the ship boat. This is a ship's boat, which it can
And
be used.
Hammond's all the Kool-Aid.
You can see that there's 4 staterooms here. If there was
Bunk
a if there was a captain, this is the captain's ready room. In here, get out of there. That's not your room. A bit loud. There's no set medical bay, but this is what actually where any medical stuff happens. This is a stateroom. And then down here where Hammond is nicely positioned is all the engines and the mechanics, etc., etc.
Is there tools in here?
Yeah, there are tools. It's a fully equipped scout ship ready for battle. I'm going to make available to you. It should say Scout Type S stats.
Mm-hmm.
You got it?
Yep.
Does everybody have it? So
Mm-hmm.
the top part is the hit locations. Okay, so the first number is armor. Second number is amount of hit points. It's armed with a laser. It currently does 1d6 worth of damage, but please remember that's 2 other spaceships.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were firing it on the ground to another vehicle, it would do 10 times as much as that. And if you fired it at a person, it would do 100 times that value. So initially you might sort of like think, oh, it doesn't have a lot of armor. But, you know, if you were firing your pistol at it, then you would increase the armor by...
It'd be 600, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
600 and then 1,000 odd hit points after that. So that's how it operates on it. Once you get to the areas of the ship, Blackstar, the Sons of the Blackstar sort of like demonstrate to you there definitely is a bleep on the scanner. It seems that there was the ward was always been able to manipulate, be able to tag her via the various space via communications and sensors, but while she was in the mine, that was not the case. Minsk, are you going to disable the autopilot?
I do believe it'd be rude not to, and the fact that I would never trust an autopilot to fly a ship in the first place, then yes.
Okay then. So I'm going to ask you to make a pilot roll. The only reason I'm asking you to make this is it's been a long time since you actually were behind
and there are a lot of flashing buttons that I'm trying to refamiliarize myself with
and,
that are in the grey mists of my mind.
So you start off, you manage to
I do feel like I'm going to use luck point to make that crit, please.
Yeah, by all means. Yeah, so you look round at the controls, and all of a sudden everything from your memory sort of like comes flushing back to you, and everything seems to be quite natural. You feel that you've probably driven or piloted this sort of shit before. And you look around, and the standardization of the control panel looks very familiar, and you sort of like quickly engage impulse drive, and you have the option to make ship-wide communications if you wish.
I will indeed.
I thought you might. Or
Okay.
I just imagine Newman in his little turret going
Choo,
back.
choo,
and-
choo.
Like two
Don't
chairs
get,
there.
don't get cocky,
Technically,
kid.
Yeah.
I could have somebody hanging out up there with me, like one of the sons of Blackstar.
Yeah, they,
Little co-pilot with me, boy.
he will. One of them will pop up there as well with you. Yeah, ship shipwide communication.
Buckle up, people. We're gonna find this girl and bring her back home.
Okay, and you engage the impulse drive, and you start to leave Arid. At that point, you do get various warning messages coming from the start port, and they're sort of like saying, "You are in." You are outside legal landing zones. Please return to starport. You are not allowed to land away from this starport. And they sort of like, and the Blackstar's heads are moving backwards and forward. Do you wish to give a reply or let them eat static?
Eat static while trying to work out a way to block our ID, if possible. I don't think I can do that, can I?
Well, Hammond might be able to via
Hammond, can you
roll.
can you block our ID sensor?
I can try. Am I rolling computers?
Yeah, it's a hard skill though. It's a hard difficulty.
And it doesn't matter because I'm Hammond.
Yeah.
The power of role play.
You sort of like Minsk shouts over the intercom. Hammond, can you do something about this?
There's our RF tag or RFID, whatever it is.
Yeah, and Hammond, you sort of like press a few buttons and write a quick subroutine code that actually randomly generates a new code that gets sent back, so you're not necessarily masking it. It's almost like you've put a different number plate over the ship, and you notice there's something that bleeps on your command panel in the bridge that sort of like says this, and the Blackstars are looking backwards and forwards. You're not too sure what they're thinking, or you can't see their facial expression. So the ship rises up through the atmosphere and comes out into somewhere that you haven't been for a huge amount of time. You've been almost like stuck on Arid, but you have this feeling of freedom again, and you all get this feeling. Numen in the turret, Minsk on the bridge, and with Hammond in the engineering room and Purdy just in medical. You sort of like have this feeling of home, and as you rise up through the atmosphere and the sky around you changes from that blue and gets darker and darker, you come up into space, you go through the atmosphere, and you see the Levito system stretching before you, including the planet that you were stranded on, the rock planet. And at that point, I would like you all, please, to roll an insight roll, because there's an opportunity that you're going to get something back.
Ooh! Oh, you did it too.
Well, Hammond, you get a lot back, and then
Beautiful.
Minsk, you get something, and Numen, you get something as well, but with a little bit less detail. So Numen, I'm going to start with you. As the ship comes through the atmosphere and goes out into deep space, you suddenly get a flashback, and it seems that you're in a turret. You're actually manning a turret, and you seem to be revolved round, so you're firing out the back of the ship, if that makes sense. So the ship that you're in, and it seems to be your ship. You're very home. You notice when certain buttons are coming up and flashing, you know which ones to press, etc. And you seem to be firing at a matte black ship. Sorry, not matte black, a shiny ship. It looks quite big. It almost like dwarfs your vehicle and your starship. And as you're firing, you're noticing that the majority of them are hitting what appears to be some shields in operation. And you don't hear your voice, but you seem to be shouting, and you seem to be talking through the intercom, saying what's happening. And the last thing you see is almost like a purple plasma coming out of the ship behind you, and it sort of like comes out a bit like a ball, and it sort of like emanates from the ship, and it hits yours, and that's the last thing that you see. Now, Minsk, you see a little bit more and remember a little bit more. The first thing that you remember is that you're actually fleeing from a ship that's in pursuit of you. You've done various maneuvers, but you can remember quite clearly that the ship that is pursuing you is bigger and miles better than your craft. You also feel that you're in this sort of ship. It's very familiar to you, and you can hear cries from Numen coming in over the intercom saying about weapons are ineffective, and your eyes cast down over the panel, and you can see various navigation things coming up. And the first thing that you notice is that you're actually in this system, and you say something over the intercom, which almost like says something about hold on tight, and you pilot the ship away off to the right, and you move it round towards a rock-like planet. And what you see on your command console is the location of where you were marooned. And at that point, there's you feel the ship judders or something, and then your memory fades. And then finally, Hammond, you get the most information. You reckon, and this is only because you got a crit, so I'm going to give you a little bit more than what I was going to give you. The first thing is you are being pursued by a core ship. It's definitely a ship core, and you have this strange feeling, Hammond, that you're meant to have done something, but you've changed your mind. And you seem to have almost like a private communication link that's coming through. It's not coming through the starship, it's coming through your own personal communicator, and it's just sort of like text messages that are saying things like, don't do this, you know this is the wrong idea, we own you, etc., etc. But you get this feeling that you're not complying, you're doing something different. And just at that point, the starship veers off to one direction, and you notice from your system that there is a ball of plasma Cummings being shot out from the core ship, and is coming straight towards you. And your readings, you're checking your readings as you go, and it appears to be an electromagnetic pulse of some description. And at that point, you call out over the intercom that sort of like says, basically, people need to get to the escape pods. And the last thing you do before you leave your console and head for the escape pods again, you reach over, and there seems to be a screen that holds a whole load of data. And you remember just reaching out and pressing the button that says send. And then you turn around and you manage to get to your escape pod, and you feel it judder and expels you from the ship, and you can see other escape pods going off as well. But then this purple plasma, this electromagnetic pulse comes over, and it actually envelops the escape pods, you all inside the and your ship. And at the last thing that you remember is lots of crackling, lots of static, and then that's it. You remember no more. And at that point, you are all brought back to the scout ship, and you hear a command or a cry over the intercom from the from one of the Blackstar, Sons of Blackstars, and they say, there it is. And you notice on your sensors and even on your screen, you can see that in the distance, via your sensors, not from your view screen, you can acknowledge that Claude de Beck's scout ship is ahead of you, heading as fast as it can to the minimum safe distance to hyperdrive, to hyperjump. And yeah, that seems to be a good point. I know it's slightly early, but I think you agree that would be a good point to stop it there. Yeah?
Space race.
Yeah. I thought you were going.
That's fine.
I thought you were going to say, "Oh, that was brilliant in Wills," but no,
Do you
we'll
know
have a
what?
space race.
That is one of the best episodes we've done so far on M Space. That was fantastic. That was really good. That had everything in it.
So,
And the fact that the roles as well miraculously went with what we wanted to do, in a sense.
yeah,
You know, it was brilliant.
yeah,
Really, really, really good.
It was also probably the first time we had like a major failure as a group.
no,
Yeah.
yes.
Failure.
Yes. So,
yeah.
can I please remind, especially you, Minsk, that there is your vehicle combat specials are the same for your starship specials, and also your gunnery ones, Numen, as well. So if you want to do anything between now and next time, actually brushing up on those might be something just to be aware of. Just to let you know,
Yes, we have offensive positioning, defensive positioning, move, hold, steady, action,
that's it.
dominate.
Can you now see your ship?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Beautiful scout.
Yeah.
Looks like an arrowhead. It's lovely.
And so,
It looks like an anaconda for elite.
so just up there, if you look in there,
Mm-hmm.
you can see.
That's me.
You can see Minsk waving. Going, help!
No,
I can't get out! Not Minsk, sorry, Hammond, sorry, Numen, sorry. I can't get out.
Numen's up here, and if that gets targeted,
I'm replaceable.
We're going to need a Numen.
you'll need a new Numen, most definitely.
What happened to Old Man?
Say again, sorry.
What happened to Old Man?
Well, he was the original. I'm
He's
just
the
the
original
Formula
Newman.
clone.
Yes.
Yeah.
I keep dying, and you guys keep bringing me back.
Yeah.
Actually, can I have one question before we head out? And it's
Yeah.
specifically about my memory. Do I remember a certain password or anything?
No, you just remember pressing send.
Okay.
You're not
It's
too
probably password knowing you.
you're not too sure what
We're password
you
1.
press
Yeah.
send, but you just pressed send.
All
And
right,
hopefully things are clicking back into
Could that be the message that you got on that? No. Because did you get something you did your own handwriting?
yeah, no, I have something like a
A
yeah.
memory
equivalent
stick.
of equivalent of a memory stick.
Could that be what they said? That is what you sent?
Yeah, but I need a password to access it.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
But it might have come from this time, and maybe you can start putting together what might be on there. Is this here? Is this the bathroom?
That
I'm
is a
hoping
bathroom,
so. Otherwise, it's going to be a very
Yeah.
We're
scary
pretty.
ship.
It's 2 bathrooms, guys. So you know.
Yeah,
Pretty
'cause
fancy.
there's another one
Oh,
here.
there is. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There is.
Notice no
Bathroom.
showers though.
Well, maybe it's a double up.
Yeah.
Flush
In
wash.
Traveler, I think the scouts usually have like a little note that it's a multi-purpose bathroom, so it's small and compact, and the shower's in the ceiling. And
Nice.
you just
Ah.
get your toilet all wet all the time.
Are these
It's a wet room. A wet room. A wet room.
a wet room? A wet
A wet
room.
room.
Wet room.
Wet room.
Are these meant to be double doors?
What?
Can you see all the doors seem
Yeah,
to
the
have...
double sides. I think
Yeah.
they're more like to say blast doors, I suppose. Maybe I don't know.
Is there sort of
I-
like 2 doors that open at the same time?
And you can also make it so you can like lock one. Or I think it's
Yeah.
for reaches. So that
Yeah.
if an
Yeah.
area becomes
Notice
Sounds
the
sensible.
ones that go to space are red,
Yeah.
while the yellow
Those
ones.
are,
So
so
those are
you-
airlock doors.
Yeah.
I
So
think Pickles is right. So 2 would open at once if it, on a normal situation, but if there was a breach,
yeah.
1 would open, but the other one wouldn't.
Yeah. So there's a little key up at the top right in the legend.
I do like the swimming pools we have with 2 of them.
Yeah.
One here. I want,
Yeah. Go and swim in the fuel
Yeah.
tank.
hydrogen.
yeah, it's my best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've are these like fans? What are these? Fuel processors.
Exhaust. Oh, fuel process.
Yeah,
I was okay.
this is one of those ones that can go through a gas giant and just get their fuel.
and skim
Then they
it.
refine it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can do that.
That's pretty cool.
Can I say
Yeah.
that I actually bought these?
Oh,
Really?
Yeah. So
You had
yeah,
that many credits to buy a spaceship?
say again. Sorry.
You had that many credits to
Yeah,
afford a full
and
spaceship?
just to let you know, so this is you actually get a whole load of them. So you get this one.
Oh, very nice. So you can customize it.
So that one doesn't have any furniture in.
Mhm.
And so you get then this one is unfurnished with grid.
Mm.
Then you get one furnished
Furnished.
with grid,
Great.
and then this one which is furnished
Without
without grid.
grid. How will my mind compare?
So it's just like unbelievable. There's so many different, they all come in that set. So yeah, sorry, we finished a little bit earlier, but I think that was a good place to stop. And yeah, so yeah, you are out in space now, and remember, in space nobody hears you scream.
Or fart.
Yeah.
Wasn't me.
Yeah, please don't fart anywhere near the fuel tank.
Hopefully, there's some air purifiers.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll
Sorry.
pick it up next time we play, when you will be in space. And it might be worth thinking what you're going to do. because you probably don't want to shoot the
Oh no.
to bits. Just to let you know, scans do reveal that she is on that Claude Beck's ship. Okay, and you don't have transporters or teleportation or anything like that. So
No.
so
It's a shuttle if you want to go across, or
yeah,
Yeah.
via airlocks.
or,
Okay,
or,
yeah.
or yeah. Gosh, much to think about. Brilliant.
Yeah, so thank you everybody who came along and supported us today. I hope you enjoyed that. It was really exciting for the players because they were in space for the first time. They've not been in space and they're in a nice funky ship. Yeah, so we will be back next week, hopefully, if everything goes according to plan. Medivac, you've got 2 games, have you not?
I have. We do Call of Cthulhu on a Monday from 7:15. Oh, scary.
Yeah.
And then we do 5e Dungeons and Dragons Wilderlands campaign even,
Well, is
on
it
a
like
Thursday.
episode 48 or something?
It's 41 on Monday. We on Tuesday, sorry, Thursday. We had 40 on last Thursday.
That's a
Yeah.
big amount of things. Yeah, so
It's great. Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you for mentioning.
yeah, brilliant. No worries at all. Anybody else got any games going off that you want to mention? No. Okay.
No.
That's good.
No.
I will be back tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock playing some Stardew Valley, and then in the afternoon, 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock, I will be continuing my quest for antiquities to get some mythic items in Elder Scrolls Online. Yeah, so until then, look after yourselves. I hope you've enjoyed the adventure as much as I have. Yeah, and it's goodbye from me. See you later, people, and it's goodbye from them.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. I hope you like it again.
Yes.
All right.
And
Yeah.
I'm turning you off.